So let's start, no? Let me just share with you my screen again. Okay. Okay. So let's start. Okay, no? It appears na parang wala pa tayo masyadong pinag-uusapan pero sa totoo lang, naparami na natin pinag-uusapan, no? Although, technically, it's all the lecture 3 officially, but we've talked, you already have some, ano, no, prior materials that I gave you, no? Itong numbering lang naman na ito, itong lecture number 3 is just to keep me to help me to guide me, no, kung ano yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng aking mga new material. Of course, meron na tayong old material that I provided to you early on. Okay. So let's proceed with our next topic. But before that, let's have a recap of what we've discussed so far, no? So let's recall yung tinatawag nating SQ current system, and which is a daytime phenomenon, and that's basically involves two cells of current that is driven by by solar heating. Okay, and of course it follows the usual morphology of the Earth's magnetic field. And this SQ current system happens during the day side, as I mentioned. It is a E-region phenomenon. So that means it is concentrated or situated sa E-region ng ionosphere. It has therefore a seasonal variability as shown here. Let me just okay, as shown here, no? Generally, the current is intense, or the magnitude or the intensity of the currents is highest during equinoxes, where the 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 equatorial region is basically facing the sun directly. Okay, whereas during the solstices, winter and summer solstice, because of the uneven or not direct or non-direct heating sa equatorial region during the solstices, the intensity of your SQ current is also affected. Okay, also there is dependence on solar activity. If you have a low solar activity, the current system is low in intensity. If the current system is high during high solar activity. Okay, and we also mentioned that there is the boundary between the north and the southern cells is produces an equatorial electrojet, which is basically due to the following, no? So recap lang nung ating illustration regarding the explanation or basic explanation of the equatorial electrojet. So here we have an idealized slab geometry for the E region. In this case, based on this figure, this graph, in the E region, the Hall conductivity dominates the Peterson conductivity. So that means the Hall current, which is the current perpendicular to the magnetic field but parallel to the electric field, would dominate. Okay, so here we have, let's say we have in the day side, we have an eastward electric field, and let's say we have a northward magnetic field into the page. Okay, because in the E region, okay, the Hall conductivity is much greater than, or orders of magnitude greater than, the Peterson conductivity. within the E region. Beyond the E region, we can assume for now that the conductivity is very low. Okay, and this is the case. Therefore, there will so we will have sorry my fault. Peterson conductivity is the conductivity perpendicular to magnetic field but parallel to the electric field, while the Hall conductivity is both perpendicular to the electric field and the magnetic field. Okay, so the eastward electric field and the northward magnetic field at the equator would produce a two currents. Meron kang current that is along the electric field. That's your Peterson current. And then you have your Hall current, which is perpendicular to both eastward and northward. Because of this configuration, the Hall current will be downward. Okay. So because of this, because there is no conductivity or there's low conductivity at the edges of the E region relative to the Hall conductivity, therefore charges will accumulate to those boundaries, and those boundaries will create a polarization electric field. So this polarization electric field, it will produce a Peterson current. This Peterson current will close out this current, yung Hall current, produced by the eastward electric field. So magko-close yan. Just any circuit, magko-close yan. Okay, because the current must be divergenless. Okay. At the same time, because of this polarization electric field, this would produce also a Hall current along this direction. So therefore, the total current along the eastward direction, okay, will just be the sum of this Peterson current and this Hall current, okay, driven by the eastward electric field and the resulting polarization electric field. So this is your equator electrojet. Okay, so here we can now define yung Cowling conductivity, which is basically the net effect that which tells us that the Peterson conductivity, the equator electrojet, okay, is larger than the sum of the currents produced by the SU current along the equator. Okay, and because of this, okay, we can actually see a large current density along the E region, which is eastward direction. Okay, and besides that, the magnetic field created by this eastward direction, eastward EEJ, will produce this kind of magnetic field. And this is why we can actually quantify the EEJ by measuring the magnetic field it creates in the underground using magnetometer. Ito yung pina-assignment ko sa inyo. And you already noticed that if you're going to take the difference between the magnetic field at the magnetic equator and a magnetic field off the equator, you can actually quantify the magnetic field created by your equatorial electrojet, which is directly proportional to the current. So yung current na pinoproduce ng EJ would produce a magnetic field that varies with the current produced. So this is basically a a proxy or a representative parameter that would describe the behavior of your EEJ. At yun yung nakita nyo by getting the differences of the ground level magnetic field measurements by two magnetometers. So you chosen DAF and MUT, and tama naman yung mga ginawa nyo. What you emailed to me, so that's perfectly fine. And you will notice that there's a diurnal variation. Okay, it is high during daytime and it is almost zero, if not zero, during nighttime. Okay, and it varies with month as well as years. So because of, as I mentioned earlier, the SU current is affected by solar heating. So pag nagkaroon ng changes sa tilt ng Earth, of course, solar heating will change Therefore, the consequent SQ currents and the equatorial electrojet will vary as well. Okay, so today we're going to move to a little bit different, hindi naman a related topic, no? Again, we're going to look at the dynamo system in the equatorial region, no? Okay, so let's start with a review of the thermospheric wind system um that I asked you to read before, no, along a few weeks ago, no? Say sa mga reading assignments natin. Okay, so here we have a a map of the northern hemisphere. Okay, so this is equator, and then this is from zero north latitude to north pole. So this is just a representative. On the x-axis is a local time. So this is sometimes kasi in the map we can represent the horizontal axis as the local time rather than longitude, no. So for example, in this case, along Asian region, we set that it is noon time. So noon time yan. So that's where the sun is. So that in the other side of the earth, it's nighttime. Okay. So you have your midnight, dawn, noon, dusk, and then midnight on the other side. Okay. So because of solar heating, the upper atmosphere will have different um, pressure systems wherein directly above or directly affected by the solar heating would be high pressure, and then at the dawn side and in the um, polar regions you have low pressure relatively because of the heating. Siyempre, pag mas mainit dito, higher pressure, ideal gas law, PV equals nRT. So higher temperature means higher pressure, given the same volume and everything else. Okay, so because of this high pressure system in the sunlit side, in the noon side, and then low pressure at the dawn, dusk, and polar region, okay, the neutral particles or the neutral will now move, okay, from high pressure to low pressure. Okay, ito yung basic um, wind system that happens in the upper atmosphere. Okay. But of course, in reality, medyo complicated siya as you already read. But this is basically the dominant solar-driven wind system. Okay, let's say in the northern hemisphere. Okay, so this will now drive wind system like this. Okay, so importante dyan, merong meridional, this is meridional wind. So that means poleward. And then you have zonal wind that is in this direction. Okay. Now, so let's make this a little bit bigger. And now let's add magnetic field line as well as yung ating dawn terminator. So sa kabilang side would be the dust terminator on different views. So this will now be your magnetic field, okay, close to the ground. Okay. Now, let's look at this very carefully. No? So let's say, okay, we have charges produced by the solar heating kasi nga ionosphere, di ba? So as you already know, when photoionization happens, your neutral particle are stripped up by electrons producing a ion electron pair. Okay? So that ion and electron pair will be carried by the neutral wind. Okay? So, kini-carry niya yung neutral wind. So, what happens is this now. Okay? So, let's say in the northern hemisphere, the magnetic field is in this direction. The southern hemisphere is in this direction. Okay, and as you will notice here, the magnetic field at the neutral wind would look something like this in the northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere. Okay, so Lorentz force would force, okay, the Lorentz force F equals Q, that's your charge, times the cross product between the speed and magnetic field, or velocity and the magnetic field. So basically, this speed or this velocity is the velocity of the neutral wind, and naturally this would cause this would this neutral wind carries yung ating mga ions. Okay, so by looking at this, the electrons will be dragged by the neutral wind into the page, and then out of the page your ions will be dragged kasi opposite direction siya. So just like here. So let's say you have a charge here. Okay, the neutral wind in this direction is upward, poleward. So that, and then the magnetic field is in this direction. So the positive charge, blue, will be dragged in this direction, and then the electrons therefore will be dragged in the opposite direction. Okay? So that means there will be a separation between the two positive and negative charges. So again, ions and electrons are dragged across the magnetic field in opposite directions by the Lorentz force. Okay? So that means it will now produce a westward current in the northern and southern hemisphere. Okay? Kasi, so we note again, going back, so the positive charges moves to the right, westward. The negative charges moves eastward. Okay, so that means the net current, yung conventional current, would follow the direction of the positive side, positive charge, positive ion. And this current direction, as you will notice, will now be dependent on the direction of the neutral wind and the magnetic field. That would create a current that would look something like this. So that means, so if there's a current that would be going generally westward, so therefore, charges will accumulate on the dawn and dusk side. Okay? So this will now be located at the dusk and in the dawn terminators. And this charge separation would produce a polarization electric field, and that is eastward. This is the eastward electric field that I was talking about before. So this is basically how, okay, this electric field is produced in daytime. It is eastward during daytime, and therefore it is westward during nighttime. Again, so this eastward and westward electric field during daytime and nighttime respectively is due to the fact that charges accumulate in the dawn and dusk terminators because of the neutral wind. Okay, so there's an eastward electric field, so therefore there will be current in the eastward direction, thus producing the E region dynamo. So ito yung E region dynamo, and this is a very large part of the mechanism that was responsible for the generation of your SQ current. Okay, so basically what I explained here is basically how SQ current happens. Okay, the basic idea, which is an E region dynamo phenomenon. Okay, questions po?
Wala naman po, sir, so far.
Okay.
Yeah, so far so good po.
Okay. Okay, so this is your E region dynamo. So, what will now be its effect sa F region? So let's go back again to thermospheric winds. Okay. So at the E region, at the F region naman, at the F region, this would this is what this is what the thermospheric winds look like, which is similar to what you saw earlier. So meron kang poleward, meridional wind, and you have your westward and eastward wind. So during daytime, there's a dominant daytime westward zonal wind in the F region, and in the nighttime, the wind is generally eastward. Okay? So remember that. So let's look at the nighttime region. Okay? Kasi basically because yung zonal wind sa gabi is much larger than the neutral wind sa araw because of the presence of the ions, no? Kasi during daytime, maraming ions. So si neutral, when it moves, it drags ions. So pag mas maraming ions, mas mabagal yung neutral wind kasi mas marami siya lang binubuhat, so to speak. Sa nighttime, the nighttime zonal wind or nighttime wind is relatively larger because there's less ionization. Okay, so there is less ion drag. Okay, so let's have a nighttime eastward F region, no? Let's say. So the zonal winds which are predominantly perpendicular to the magnetic field near the equator. Kasi nga eastward siya. Or westward, di ba? Zonal siya. And the magnetic field at the equator is meridional, no? North to south. So it's predominantly perpendicular near the equator. So similar to what I mentioned earlier, di ba? Si neutral wind would produce a current. Okay, so this is a wind-driven current, and the direction of that current is perpendicular to both the neutral wind direction and the magnetic field, which you saw earlier. Okay, so so therefore at the equator, this current is almost vertical. Okay, or yeah, it's almost vertical. So let me demonstrate that to you now. So let's say we have a northward magnetic field. Okay, so this is your surface, north, south magnetic field. So let's say this is your northward magnetic field. Now, going back to our graph, to our conductivity profile, in the F region, you will notice that instead of Hall current, the Peterson current now dominates. Okay? So the Peterson now dominates. In fact, it's approximately equal to this equation. Okay? So the Peterson conductivity, we can now again use a slab geometry model wherein in this slab, the Peterson conductivity dominates the conductivity, and then above and below the F region, the Peterson current, the Peterson conductivity is negligible. Baliktad dun sa kanila. Kanina, si Hall current yung nagdo-dominate kasi it's in the E region. Okay? Now, instead of electric field that drives the current, kasi kanina yung equator electrojet, it is the electric field, no? It's the eastward electric field that basically drives it. In this case, it is the neutral wind. So as I mentioned earlier, let's say we have a neutral wind that is eastward. So this is a nighttime eastward neutral wind. Okay. So in this view, it is to the right. And in this view, it is into the page. Okay. So based on this equation, the current that will be produced is perpendicular to the magnetic field and the eastward neutral wind. And that's vertical in direction. Okay? Because the conductivity is along this, okay, along this region, Therefore, again, similar to what happened earlier, charges accumulates on the boundary of the F region, which produce a polarization that is opposite the direction of this current. Okay? Because of this, because this is in the plasma region, okay, magnetic field lines are considered to be equipotential. So what does it mean? It means that if there's an electric field in this direction, for example, this electric field will now be mapped along the magnetic field lines like this. Okay? So pwedeng, so let's say, I'm going to annotate. No? So, so this is your electric field. So may this electric field, which is ano no, which is supported by observation, no, will have electric field along these directions. Okay? So what does it mean? It means that at the off equator regions, okay, at the off equator regions, this downward electric field in the equatorial region is mapped to the E region. Okay, it is mapped to the E region that is horizontal in direction in the mid latitude. Okay, so there are two consequences. Number one is that this electric field, okay, will now drive a current. Okay, will now drive a current. Oh, sorry. Okay, will now drive a current. Ay, ba't kaya? Yun, in this direction. Kasi 'di ba sa sa E region, si electric field, the horizontal electric field will produce a horizontal current similar to what you saw earlier. Okay? So may current ka ngayon na equatorward in this region. Okay, because as I mentioned kanina, current is divergentless, so current will flow like this. So it will be a closed circuit like this. Again, because of the fact that current must be continuous. Walang current that will happen na hindi closed. Okay, just like what you saw, let's say sa mga room nyo, okay? If the light is if your room light is turned off, that's because the circuit is open. Okay, if the circuit is open, no current will flow. Kapag kinlose mo yung current, current will now flow. So ito yung ibig sabihin niya, yung current continuity. Okay? Okay, so okay, sige. Para mas madaling makita, no? Para mas madali siguro, it would also help you visualize this, no? So let me just change sorry. Before that, no? So this is the first consequence, no? Kakaroon ka ng current like this. At the same time, okay, this downward electric field, polarization electric field, will now produce a drift via the E cross P drift. Okay, so plasma will drift eastward during nighttime. So therefore, during daytime, it will drift westward. Okay, so magkakaroon ka ng drift yung plasma mo, yung charges mo dito. Pag drift westward during daytime, because the neutral wind, this is westward, no? So meron kang westward daytime drift, at in the nighttime, meron kang eastward drift. Okay, again, this is backed by actual observations. Okay, sige. So let me just change the view, no. So let's say this one. Okay, so I try to make it a little bit in 3D. Okay, so again, F region, then you have your E region, then you have your cartoonized or illustrated magnetic field lines. So let's just choose two magnetic field lines. This vertical line tells you that this is in the magnetic equator. Okay? So again, meron kang, number one, meron kang, let's say, westward zonal wind or zonal wind in general. No? So we have your zonal wind here. Okay, whether that's eastward or westward. Okay? So this drives a current that is upward during the nighttime. So eastward, nga pala eastward to kasi north, south to. So eastward zonal wind produces a current, ion current that is upward. Because of this, charges will accumulate. Okay, because again, current continuity. This charge separation will produce a polarization electric field pointing downward, which is mapped to the E region. This E region electric field, which is mapped by the magnetic field lines, would produce a current that is poleward, which is part of this closed circuit, which demonstrate a divergenceless current. So current continuity. This would ensure that no charges are accumulated here. Okay, so yung mga charge accumulation, hindi yun permanent. Okay, it's not permanent there, but instead, it will actually produce an eastward electric field so it will produce a polarization electric field that would that polarization electric field would now um, prevent this accumulation of charges. Okay? So basically, that's it. So in reality, wala talaga accumulation niya kasi closed yung circuit. Now, aside from that, because there's a downward electric field, so downward electric field sa equator, northward magnetic field sa equator, so E cross B drift, there will be a zonal plasma drift that follows the direction of your zonal wind direction. Okay? So that means yung polarization electric field, which is largest during nighttime because the E region conductivity is smallest. Okay? And then it will also produce an eastward nighttime drifts that are larger than the westward daytime drifts, as I mentioned before. Kasi neutral wind sa eastward direction in the neutral winds nighttime is larger than the neutral wind in daytime. Okay, because of the ion drag principle. Okay, so this graphs shows the actual measurements at different seasons at an equatorial station. So this is actually measured by a radar at the Gica Marca sa Peru. So Peru is in the magnetic equator, and this is the actual measurement. Okay, so this is the zonal plasma drifts for low and high solar activity. So this is during daytime. So as you will notice, during daytime it is negative, which indicates a westward direction. And then during nighttime, it is positive, which suggests an eastward direction. So let's say the peak nighttime here in this graph, it's about 100 meters per second yung zonal drift that is westward during nighttime. In the eastward direction during daytime is only about 50. So more or less half. Okay, and that's consistent for both low solar activity and high solar activity. Okay, so these are actual measurements. Okay, so these measurements are actually proof that the discussion earlier are um, are valid. Okay? And this plasma drifts, okay, follows, okay, more or less the zonal wind, the neutral wind during daytime and nighttime. And the order of magnitude basically matches, no, between the plasma drift and the nighttime drift. Sorry, plasma drift and the zonal wind in the F region. Okay? So anong consequence ito? So again, this is also another seasonal variability naman ng mga plasma, sorry ba to? Zonal drift, no? Plasma zonal drift na at Gigamarca, Peru um, during different seasons. This is equinox and this is um, solstices. Okay, at different solar activity levels. Okay, so the important thing to remember here is the zonal plasma drift is eastward during nighttime. This is and then westward during daytime. Okay, sorry itong sorry. Let me just correct this na bago ko makalimutan. Mali yung color ko pala, kaya pala ako nalito bigla. Sorry about that. Yan, okay. So during nighttime is eastward, positive, and during daytime is westward. Okay, that's negative. Okay, and the peak eastward drift at night is about twice as great as the peak in the westward drift during daytime. So again, no, yung discuss ko kanina is actually observed, no, um, by measurements. Okay. So to summarize, so this is your E and F region. It's a little bit complicated, but basically involves, of course, yung winds, neutral wind would produce currents, and those currents will produce electric field. Okay, so for example, for the E region dynamo, mas basic lang siya. Winds would produce currents, and the currents will produce electric field. Okay, so magko-close yung system, SQ current ka. For the F region naman, of course, yung wind would be a primary driver that would produce current and then electric field. And that electric field would redistribute your ion concentration. Okay. And that ion concentration would have an effect to the conductivity that affects the current system. And that charge particle conductivity is also affected by the neutral density concentration or distribution. Okay, so basically this is the flow of the E region dynamo. Of course, not to mention pa that there will be at times some external drivers, no, that is out of the ordinary. Like for example, mga tinatawag natin yung pump penetration electric field caused by let's say caused by aurora expansion, so coronal mass ejections, stratospheric warming, mga ganon. So those are other external factors that would affect the dynamo system. Kaya nagkakaroon ka ng, let's say, as I mentioned before, nagkakaroon ka ng counter electrojet. A counter electrojet is caused by other external forces that is not part of the usual E-region dynamo system, etc. etc. Okay? Sige. Questions po so far?
So far, none. Clear naman yung explanation. Natitrace ko naman yung parang 3D visualization niya.
Okay, sige. Okay. Ano oras ba? Okay, good. Sige. Now, let's go back, no, sa E-region dynamo. So as I mentioned, the E-region dynamo produces an eastward electric field. Okay, so what is another consequence of that eastward electric field? Okay, in the E region. So let's say, for example, again, this is a graph of the magnetic field lines at the E and F region and above from north to south. Okay, so we have eastward electric field at the E region. So just like before, this eastward electric field, okay, is mapped to the F region. So meron kang eastward electric field sa F region that is coming from the E region dynamo. Okay? So zooming in. So because the magnetic field at the equator is northward, so in this example, it is to the left. Okay, pangit. Okay. To the left, yung magnetic field natin, so that's the upward direction. Okay? So that means via the E cross B drift, okay, any plasma here will drift upward. Okay? And then if it is high enough, it will now be affected by pressure gradient and gravitational forces kapag mag-accumulate na siya sa taas. And as a result, because again, charges move along the magnetic field line, it is now forced to move toward the southern and northern of equator. Okay? So this is now your equatorial ionization anomaly. Okay? So just like what I mentioned before, we will not be able to observe this. Okay? Di natin makikita um although ma-observe natin yung vertical drift ng plasma, okay, which I will show you maybe next week. But the net effect is the one that we can actually easily observe and model. Okay, so in fact, we can use the International Reference Ionosphere to observe yung this equatorial ionization anomaly. So in this case, we now have a graph of the IRI model of the electron density. Okay, as a function of altitude from the E region, 100. This is the F region, so 100 to 800 kilometers altitude across different latitudes. So slice siya, meridional slice ng ionosphere. So I superimpose the magnetic field lines. As you will notice that it is indeed follows this illustration. Okay, so this is the color map. So the yellow is the high electron density, and then the purple part is the low electron density. As you will notice, this happened during a winter season, February. So there is an asymmetry towards the northern hemisphere at 112 degrees east longitude. Okay, so today, as part of our demonstration, okay, I will demonstrate to you how to use basically yung online IRI model. Okay? So, ang IRI model is an international model that is widely used to study the ionosphere. It has already 4 versions. Ang pinakabagong version is 2020. And it can actually output several things. Of course, it can output the electron density. It can also output electron and ion temperature. It can also output ion composition. It can also output equatorial vertical ion drift, etc., including the ionospheric total electron content, okay, etc. So today we're going to look at electron density, which is a function of time, location, and altitude. Okay? Sige. So let's do this. I'm going to open my browser. So RI model is here. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Talino?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, so this is the RI model. Um, so these are some information, no? It can also provide you, if you know how to, the code of RI is actually made from Fortran. Are you familiar with Fortran? Familiar by sa Fortran?
No, sir.
It's an old language, no?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
very
it's very
old
old.
language. Yeah. So, but ang RI ang code, ang main source code ng Fortran ang main source code ng RI is Fortran. No? Okay, it's still effective. It's still a good, programming language if you know how to use it. Okay, but if you there are already other versions. So, for example, merong Python wrappers for IRI 2012 and 2016. Um, merong MATLAB version for IRI 2012. Okay, etc., etc. Okay, but for now, we're going to use the online computation tool. Okay, um, so let's see. Okay, so let's open RI 2020. This one now. Okay, go back tayo. Open a new tab. Okay, wait lang ha. Okay. Yeah. Yan. Okay. Good. Okay, so this is now the when I click this, saan na ba yun? Ito. When kinlik ko to, when I click this, ito yung website that open, no? So ito ngayon yung IRI um online. Yeah. Okay. So we click instant run. So ito na yun yung instant run. Okay, so let's have a basic muna. Basic lang. So let's choose IRI 2020. That's the version. Okay. The time, let's use UTC para uniform. And then date time, let's say today is what? 9 November. Let's say last year, 2023. Right now is let's say ano ba yan? 2 UT. Ano ba ngayon? 2 p.m. for 2 p.m. 14. Anong UT ngayon? Let's go to my
Six.
6
Yes,
UT, no?
six. Yeah, six.
6 UT. Yeah, 6 and then 6 UT. Okay. The 6 UT. AM kasi AM in 06. So, pwede pag PNM natin yan, pag 22. So, let's say 13 UT, that's 1 p.m. UT. So, let's say 6 UT. Okay. Okay. We can use either geomagnetic coordinates or geographic coordinates. So, let's choose geographic coordinates. Okay. Let's say I want to plot a vertical profile ng ionosphere F2, etc. region. Okay. So let's say we are at the 14.5 or 14.5 latitude and then 121 longitude. Okay. We can choose the height, let's say 450, yung ionospheric height. But because what we want is a height profile, so whatever we choose here will not matter for now. Kasi yung profile type na pupili natin ay height 0 to 200 kilometers. Okay? At let's say at 15 degrees north latitude, 121 east longitude, I have a profile of 0 to 200 kilometers. Okay. And then we can actually adjust, no. So let's say 0 ground to, let's say, 1,000 lang. And then ang step size natin, let's say, is 10. Okay. These two inputs are for your total retro content computation. So let's say, let's leave it like this muna, no? Okay, standard output natin is, ano ba yung mga standard output natin? Yeah, makikita natin yan. So, anong mga standard output? Tama. Okay, so submit. So, it will now calculate. So, this is now your electron density profile. Take note, okay, the y-axis is electron density. The x-axis is the height. So, medyo nakahiga siya. So, ang standard table of IRI parameters is electron density. This is NMF2. Okay, so this is the ratio, no, ng electron density to NMF2. The NMF2 is the peak. So, let's say this is, for example, no? So this is your profile. The peak electron density here, that's your NMF2. Peak electron density of the F2 layer. So this value is divided across all parameters here. Kaya normalize siya to 1. Okay? Palitan nga natin to ng 50. Para wala na tong complication to. Wala namang electron density sa 50, sa below 50. Okay, let me just do that again. Yan. Huh? I'm not sure but negative 1 yan. A 0. Regardless, no, that's okay. So this is now your electron density profile. So meron kang um, neutral, ion, and electron temperature. And then you have your model of your ion concentration. O plus, N plus, H plus, He plus, O2 plus, NO plus. Okay? So yung mga nakikita nyo dati ng mga pictures about electron concentration, ion concentration, percentages to, no? You can graph them yourselves. This is ion densities, and then this is total electron content. Okay? So the total electron content is 76.2. Okay? So let's say you want to graph it yourself, you can click this view raw output. So ito na siya. Okay, so all the information that is needed to calculate these values are are indicated here. Okay, so yung mga model na ginamit niya, etc. Mga default options. No? Kasi pag niran mo siya, pwede mo siyang palitan sa mga yan. Okay, you can actually input your own, let's say, parameters, no? Say F10.7, gusto mo maglagay ng sarili mong ano ba yung RZ? RZ, ano ba yung RZ? Nandito siya eh. Okay, so nandiyan siya lahat. So you can read on this to know more about this. But for now, let's leave it as is. Okay. So nandito yung mga peak densities. Yan. Solar zenith angle at this time, at this location, is 42.7. So medyo pa-set na siya. The deep latitude at this location is 17.77. Solar flux F10.7 daily and 81. The average is written here, etc. Yun, RZ is sunspot number. Pwede mo siyang ano na, input dito sa optional material. Okay? And then this is now the profile. Okay? So okay. So let's try to plot this now. Let's use Excel muna. Okay, let's use Excel. Okay. I will copy na lang ito. No? I will copy this one. So copy, and then we paste it here. Okay. Sir, ba't ganyan? Ang gulo-gulo. That's fine. Nagsimula siya sa 80, no? Sige, let's adjust na lang, no? Let's do this again. Let's adjust this to, nagsimula tayo sa 80 na lang. Submit. Para wala na yung mga negative values kanina. There. Okay, this is better. Okay, so let me just copy everything here. Copy. And then I paste it here. Delete natin ito. Okay. So, paano ko siya gagawin table? Just select everything. Go to data, text to columns, fixed width, pwede rin delimited. Pag delimited, space. Okay. Pwede rin fixed width kasi fixed width naman talaga siya. Like this. Then finish. Okay, so ito na ngayon yung ating profile. Okay. So, I will copy this. This sabi ito, this column is your electron density. So I copy it here. Copy it here. And then this will be my height. So basically pinagbaliktad ko silang dalawa. No? Okay, pinagbaliktad ko silang dalawa. Yeah, pinagbaliktad ko silang dalawa para si electron density yung nasa x-axis, si y-axis yung height. Okay? So insert. And then this one. So this is now your electron density. Okay? And then, ito yung nakikita natin before. So let's make this logarithmic scale para makita natin yung profile niya. Okay? Kita nyo ba yung profile?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
1,000. Yeah, so this is now your E and then F region. So may D region somewhere here. Manipis na manipis. Bakit? Kasi by 10 lang kasi siya. So if we're going to change chart type, ayun lang siya. So di kita yung D region talaga. Okay? So if we want to to see the D region, so let's do this again. Delete natin yung step size. Gawin natin, balik natin sa 50. Delete natin yung step size. So let's say 1. Then submit again. Yan na siya. Okay, so view raw output. Then let's copy this. Medyo fine lang siya. So, let's copy it here again. delete muna natin. Then copy. Delete natin to yung mga negative. Ito. So, ito na lang. Delete. Okay. And then data, text to columns, fixed width, finished. So copy ko to. Lagay ko siya dito. Then copy ko to. Lagay ko siya dito. And then insert. Ito na siya. Okay, so let me just adjust it like this. Okay, adjust natin access options. So let's say hanggang 600 lang muna tayo. Okay. And then this one is, let's say, from 100. Tapos, logarithmic scale. Yan na siya. Ito na yung T. So, pwede natin palitan. Change color. We can actually make this logarithmic na. Ayan na. So, makikita mo si D, E, may konting F dito, tapos F2 to. Ito siya ngayon. Okay? Okay, so this is now your electron density profile. You can make it a little bit more, presentable later. But my focus today is this, no? I want to plot yung I want to plot the EIA, which is what I did sa figure na ito. This one. Kaya pinlot ko to using Octave. Anyway, so let's do this, no? Okay, medyo magiging mano-mano siya. So let us just reset everything, no? Okay, so let's reset everything. So what I will do is okay, mula negative 30 degrees north latitude to 30 degrees north latitude lang gagawin natin. Tapos, kukunin ko yung vertical profile from 100 to 700. So, basically, ito yung kukunin ko. I-graph ko to. Itong area niyan. Okay? Okay, by vertical profiles. Okay, so let's do that. So, medyo tsatsagay lang natin. No? Okay, so height profile, let's start with 100 to 700. Tapos, mag-start tayo sa negative 30 sa Pilipinas. Okay? And then, let's say, 12 p.m. So, 4 UT. So, 4 UT. So, 12 noon. Negative 30 to 30. And then, step size natin, gawin natin 20. Para konti lang. Okay? So, let's do this. Submit. So, ito lang siya. Medyo malit lang siya. Raw output. So, I'm just going to copy this. And then paste it here. And then data, text to column, fixed width, finish. So, kukunin ko lang this one. So, this is negative 30. negative 30 north. Yes. Negative 30 north. No. Okay. Yan. Ulit nga. Negative 30 north. Yan. Sorry. Negative 30 north. Negative, let's say, 25. Negative 20 hanggang 30. So pupunin ko lang muna ito. Okay? Yes. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Let's make this quick. This is negative 25. Submit. The output. Copy. Paste. Column. Finish. Okay, copy. Let's run it again. Negative 20. Okay. Run. Okay. Copy. Okay. Yeah, so makikita nyo very tedious. Di ba? Ang tedious niya kapag mano-mano natin siyang gagawin. So that's why it's important to code these things. But for demonstration purposes, we will do this the mano-mano way using Excel. Okay, copy. Okay. Okay, we're almost halfway. Submit. Okay. So if we can code this, that would be best. Okay. That's why very advantageous no sa line of work na to ang marunong mag-code because it will make our lives much much easier. Yeah. Okay, paste. Nasaan na tayo? Finish. Okay. Let's say, pause tayo sa 0 para makita natin initial itsura niya. Okay. Copy. Paste. Sweet. Copy. And then paste. Okay. So, dito, di masyadong kita, no? But the good thing about Excel is it has a conditional formatting. So, pwede natin kulayan ito. Ayan na siya. So, makikita na natin yung ionization crest niya. Baliktad kasi 100 na sa taas, 700 na sa baba. Okay? So, if we're going to use yung surface graph ng Excel, ito na makikita natin ito. Okay? So, ito na siya. 1, 2, 3. Pero baliktad siya, no? Baliktad. Pero ito na yung crest. Ang x-axis dito ay yung height. Ang y-axis ito ay itong latitude. Okay? So, let's finish it. So, 5 na tayo, no? Sorry. 5. Saan yung 5? 5. Submit. Copy. Data. Text to column. Finish. Copy. Okay. Next. 10. Okay. Output. Copy. Paste. And text to column. Finish. Copy. Paste. Apat na lang. Apat na lang. Okay, 15. Submit. Copy. Then paste. Text to column. Fix width. Finish. Copy. Okay, 20. Submit. Run output. Copy. Paste. Oops, sorry. Hindi nga pwede dito. Pala pwede. Copy. Paste. Ganun din. Okay. 25. Dalawa na lang. 25. Zero output. Copy. Paste. Text to columns. Finish. Copy. And last. Last 30. Copy. Ba't dito? Okay. Yon. Okay. So let's see this is N column. So let me just adjust yung conditional formatting ng buong worksheet. So isasama ko na yung hanggang column N. Yan na siya. Okay, so kung lalayin natin ng kaunti, yan na itsura niya. Kita niyo ba? Okay. So try to, gawin nating surface. Yep. I-transpose natin. Ano ba ito transpose? Hmm. formula. Nasaan na ba yun? Sorry. Layout, data, filter, developer, view. Sorry. Ayun, pivot table. Hmm? Destination reference, new worksheet na lang. Totoo ba to? Wait lang ha. Hmm? Kaya ayoko ng ano eh. Don't save. Uy, nangyari. Eh, wala yung ginawa natin. Wala no?
Yes, sir. Nawala po. Okay.
Okay, buti na
Na-close.
lang. Okay, buti na lang. Sinave ko yung data ko kanina. So this is now my data. Okay. Um, eh, sorry. Okay, wait lang ha. Nawala. Bad trip. Limited, comma, cell. Ulit. Don't save. Mhm. Okay, sorry about that. Mm, okay, this one. Finish. This one, okay? So basically, ito naman, basically it's the same thing, no? But what I did here is instead of a profile, a vertical, what I did is I plotted yung latitude profile. So that means yung isang linya na ganito. Okay, so if we're going to plot that right now, I'm going to use, by the way, this is for February 12, 2012. Tama ba ako? February 11, 2012. Okay, sige. So wait lang. Sorry kung nahihilo kayo sa window ko, no? But anyway, ito na. So let's say this is at 112 longitude, which is what I mentioned earlier, and then at a height of 400. So that means I'm going to plot all electron density at a height of 400 at longitude 112 east longitude from latitudes -50 to 50. Okay, yun yung ginawa ko dito. Okay, so this is from -50 to 50 na longitude from a height of 100 to 800. So right now, I'm plotting this one. Okay, 400 kilometer. Okay, 400 kilometer heights, step size 1 from 50, -50 degrees to 50 degrees latitude. And submit. So, ganito ang itsura niya. Of course, syempre, magkakaroon ka ng dalawang peaks of the equator. I used a geographic coordinate system. So, this is what is calculated. This is November 9, 2023. Okay, so let me just change that to February, ano yun? February 11, 2012 at anong UT to? Let's say at any UT na lang, submit. Yung default kasing ginamit ko dito eh. Sige, habang niload dyan, let's open a new run. Ito, at 10 a.m. Okay, at 10 a.m. So 10 UT. This is at 4 UT. So ito ngayon siya. At 4 UT. Ito siya. Okay, so kinopy ko to. Pinis ko dito. Ito yung nakuha ko. Okay? So if you're going to plot this, so let's say ito na yung finished product natin, no, after doing everything. So let's use Excel muna, no, for the surface plot. So let me just select everything. Okay. Select everything. Then insert all charts. Then surface. And then so this is now your let's move this chart to a new sheet. So ganito ngayon yung itsura niya. Okay? So this is at the height and this is latitude. Okay? Although kasi sa Excel kasi medyo limited, no? Yung flexibility in terms of graphing. So that's why you can do the plotting using a programming language. So let's say sanay kayo sa Python, that's good for you. Ako kasi sanay ako sa MATLAB. Okay, but MATLAB is commercial. So what I will demonstrate to you next is yung open source alternative to MATLAB. So kung nagma-MATLAB kayo or ano, kasi ako nag-MATLAB kasi user ako, but to demonstrate to you na pwede nyo siyang gawin kahit wala kayong MATLAB, we're going to use a different source. A different software. I'm going to demonstrate to you a different software. Call this yung GNU Octave. Okay? So this is GNU Octave version 9.2. This is basically a free software that uses the same the same syntax as MATLAB. Okay? You can explore this later. So what I'm going to do right now is to demonstrate. Okay, so I will code it right now from scratch. So I will save this code. I went to the editor. Again, just going to save. Let's say I'm going to go, let's say, ako sa third disk ko. Yeah, I'm going to go to my MATLAB. Dito ako sa third disk na lang. Yeah, Octave GNU. Let's say plot EIK from IRI. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start by saving this to, let's say, a different location, no, para hindi ko siya magalaw later on. No? Tapos sa third disk ko. Okay. Save. Okay, so let me just open it again. third disk. Saan na ba yan? This one. Okay, I'm just going to delete itong column na to. Ito yung latitude profile. Latitude, tsaka height. Para hindi tala yung sisave ko. Okay? So let me just open this. Copy this whole profile. Okay, ito yun, di ba? So, ang aking file name ay IRI at 112 east longitude, negative 50 to 50 north, 100 to 800 kilometers CSV. Okay, so this is my file. Say input file. And then this is at location E. Location E. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in a data. I'm going to CSV read this input data, and then my delimiter is comma, and then put it in a data. Let's see. Save. I'm going to save this, then run. Add path. So command window. Lagay ko dito yung command window. Error ako. Okay, let's go to help. Help documentation on disk. Function index. CSV read. Saan yung CSV read? Yan na. Pwede na palang walang ano. See. Yon. So, let's go to workspace. Ito ngayon. Ito na yung data natin. Okay. Click tayo editor. Then I'm going to open a figure. And I'm going to use contour. And then I'm going to this one. So let's try. Contour mali. Contour yan. Run. Ito na yung contour natin. Baliktad. Ano siya? Nakatabingi. So, I will transpose it. Ngayon siya. Okay. I want to fill it. Kapag fill, kailangan ng F. Contour filled. So, makikita niyo dun sa documentation later. No? Run. Ito na ngayon siya. Okay. So, I will just generate my X. So, that's negative 50 to 50. And then my Y is from 100 to 800. Tama ba? Ano to? Yeah. By 50. Tapos ipapasok ko siya dito. X and Y. Ito na ngayon siya. Okay? Of course, it will be best kung kaya natin to. Line line contour F contour. To contour F style. Kapilang style. Hmm? Mhm. Ayun, edge color. Sorry ha. Mhm. Editor, edge color. Tatanggalin ko siya. Done. I'm gonna just close all figures. Ayun, sobra ng kama. Eh, line color. None. Yun. Ito na siya. This is 100 yung contour. Kanina kasi default lang eh. Okay? So medyo gumanda na siya. Pero pwede natin 50 lang para mabilis siyang gawin. And then I will add a color bar. Yan. CA color bar. And I will add an X label. X label natin ay latitude. Latitude, which is degrees north. Okay, and then my Y label is altitude, kilometers. Tapos yung color bar, lagyan natin electron density um, per cm squared, a cube. Tama ba? Let's check. Yeah, this is per cm cube. Okay, so let's try. Yun. So this is altitude, electron density. Mali. Tanggalin natin yung deg lang pala. Tapos, font size natin itong 14. Copy natin to para hindi. There you are. Yun. So this is now my graph. I can also change my color map. Let's say yung favorite ko ay jet. Run again. Ito na itsura niya. Okay. Of course, syempre, very, very crude, no? Very crude. Kitang-kita niyo yung division between by 50 kilometers. Kapag tinasa niyo yung resolution niyo when you make the data, di syempre, magiging fine yan. Okay? So, tanggalin na natin to para default lang muna tayo. Okay, ngayon siya. So, kitang-kita yung division na per 50 kilometers. No? Okay? I can add a grid. Ito ngayon yung grid natin. Okay? We can remove this. We can skip this line kung gusto natin yung una nating ginawa na na color scheme or theme, and then we're just going to run it again. So ito ngayon yung nakita nyo dito. Of course, ito, sorry, ito ngayon yung nakita nyo dito. Okay, this one is this one. Okay, of course, you can add your title. Any title. 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 IRI model of electron density at on February 11, 2012 at 10 UTC. Ano ba? At 112 degrees north, east on February 12. So let's try this again, no? There you are. So, lagyan natin ng font size 14 para kita. Lagyan natin 16 para kitang-kita siya. Yan. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so ito ngayon siya, which is what I did here. Okay, sorry, which is what I did here. Questions po?
Answer.
Okay, sige. So as part of your assignment no today, for today's lesson, I want you to explore yung IRI model. No? I want you to explore your IRI model, and as your output, I want you to plot this. Okay? It's a little bit, ito kasi very, very crude, no? Very crude. So I want you to plot the EIA model, okay, at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at 8 dates. Okay, 8 dates, okay. 1 during solar minimum, for this solar cycle, no? So, let's say any date, and sorry, 1 year ng solar cycle, a year where the solar activity is low. Let's say year 2019. Okay, year 2019 at saka year 2024. Sorry, year 2020. Tama ba? Year 2023. Okay, again, year 2019 and year 2024 during March equinox. So that's March 21, June 21, September 21, at saka December 21. Imagine nyo? So I want you to see how the EIA changes per season and per solar activity. Okay? At one longitude, at 120 latitude from -40 to 40 latitude. So try to make things a little bit more finer. So for example, instead of what I did here na per 50, So let's say gawin yung per 20 kilometers, yung altitude range, then yung latitude range, of course, pwede yung gawin by 1. Okay, para mas makikita niyo yung finer detail niya. Okay, so I will give you 2 weeks to do this so that you'll be able to see how the EIA changes as a function of season and as a function of solar activity. Okay, at let's say at 4 UT. Okay, at 4 UT. Now, if you have more time, you can add another UT. So that will double it, no? Gagawin nyo siyang 4 UT and then at 12 UT. Okay? So makikita nyo rin yung changes niya, how this evolves as a function of time of the day. Okay, but that's the bonus na yun. Okay? Diba? Challenge na yun. Okay? You can plot
Yes, sir.
this any way you want. So I just demonstrated to you one way to do it. Okay, huwag kayo yung gagamit ng Excel kasi pangat yung surface ng Excel. So gagamit kayo, let's say, Python. Mas madali na nga mag-code ngayon kasi pwede nyo tanongin si ChatGPT kung paano i-code pag ganito ang data nyo. Okay? So, importante sa akin yung output. Okay? So I already demonstrated what is expected of you. So, again, review lang. 8 dates minimum. March, June, September, and December. Equinox and solstices for 2 years, 2019 and 2023. Low solar activity and high solar activity. All of them will be at 12 UT. At 12 UT. No, at 4
sir.
UT. Yeah, 4 UT. So that's 12 noon. Okay, and then one is at 12 UT if you have more time. Okay? Okay, and then make a report out of it.
Okay po. No.
Okay, so
Okay?
yung latitude and longitude is 120, right?
Yeah, longitude is 120. Ang latitude is from -40 to 40.
Okay.
Okay? And then yung height would be 100 to 800. Katulad nito. Pero lilitan lang natin, gawin natin from 40 to, -40 to 40 na lang. Huwag na isama yung, huwag na natin isama yung 40 to 50. Plus or minus. Okay? Pero medyo lumit siya ng kaunti. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Sige. This is recorded, so pag available na yung recording, as usual, i-upload ko to, plus i-upload ko din yung copy ng PowerPoint. So I'll just have to clean this up. Yung last assignment nyo, which is on EEJ, I want you to resubmit it, no? Sa submission link na i-upload ko. Hindi ko pa lang siya nagagawa. For some reason, nakakalimutan ko, no? Pero gagawa ko siya ng submission link so you can submit it there. Okay? Yung mga in-email nyo sa akin. But if you want to refine what you submitted through email, pwede rin nyo naman i-refine. Okay? Before you submit it, no? Okay?
Okay po.
Sige. Questions po?
So far, none po.
Okay, so I think that's all for now. We can start working on this already. And then, yeah, you can, you can do this already. And then, kung wala na tanong, then i-discuss ko na kayo. Wala na kayong tanong?
Wala na po, sir.
Okay, sige. Thank you very much, Aldrin and Alvin, for your time this afternoon.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I will see you again next time, okay?
See you
Bye-bye.
po. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.